That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The Don's back. Back to reign, to rule and conquer, just like the Triple B. All the other boxing channels are for hoes and pussy holes. Make sure you subscribe and like, and let's make boxing great again.
Auf der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein und das heißt Erika. Eins von 100.000 kleinen Bienelein wird umschwärmt Erika, denn ihr Herz ist voller Süßigkeit. Zarter Duft.
Yes, what's up? It's Beast Boxing Basement and we big up to President Donald Trump, who gets inaugurated today. Thanks for recognizing, the Triple B, huh? And how we bring back good boxing channel. Now, I ain't no Trump fan. I ain't no all the guys. All right, the Trump is basically owned by Isa. So, he's better than that demented old fool Biden. He was just no fun. And his nonsense, right? Nothing's happened, even though he got his laptop. And there's some stuff on that, Hunter Biden's laptop. And he done deals with China. And he got pardoned by his own dad. Illicit deals I'm talking about. He smoked a lot of crack too. Anyway, this is about Donald Trump, the Don, who comes back, right? Now, he's got a big history in boxing. He likes combat sports, He's real big at the UFC. When he drops by the UFC, they go nuts, man. You know what I'm saying? They recognize the character. And he used to run boxing. Well, not run all of boxing, but he was very important in boxing in the 80s and 90s, right? He had some big fights. Jerry Cooney, he's Michael Spinks. Yeah, Cooney was KO'd in the 5th. Mike Tyson, he's Michael Spinks, which was the biggest fight at the time, like super fight. And I was a youth, and I thought, it's gonna be an amazing fight. Stayed up, watched it with some pals. Spinks got banged out, flattened, and I was like, is that it? But Spinks's legs were gone, and listen, if you're if you were a former light heavyweight and you want to trade with a prime Mike Tyson, it's likely you end up on your back. He also did Tyson Larry Holmes, which is the only time Holmes has been KO'd. It was brutal, man. It looked like he killed Holmes. And also George Foreman v. Evander Holyfield. Now, so these are big fights. These are super fights, essentially. Right? And, Tyson was always good friends with Trump. Oh, yeah, remember this bad boy advert? There's rumors that, when Tyson was having difficulties with Bill Keaton, you know what I'm saying? Trump tried to move in. He got friendly with Robin Givens. Tyson's wife at the time, and the mother, Ruth Roper, who was like the evil witch who run that relationship. And then they abused Tyson, encouraged him to take all kinds of medicine, embarrassed him on TV. Luckily he split, and Trump, allegedly, no joke, the Don, apparently he smashed Robin Givens. Robin Givens, she likes a white boy. Brad Pitt smashed it too, and Mike Tyson almost caught Brad. I mean, imagine, what are you going to say? Hey, it's a misunderstanding, Mike. Honestly, I wasn't ramping your wife up. But yeah, they were always pals. To the extent that Donald Trump, he flew to Tokyo and sat next to Don King, the same night that Mike Tyson got beat up by Buster Douglas. He's quoted afterwards, however, as saying, apparently, You know, even though it was his own friends, I ain't going to Tyson's dressing room. I can't go near him. It's a direct quote. Yeah, and the direct quote is, you know, he went, I'm not going to Tyson's dressing room. I can't go near him. It might rub off. The same thing might happen to me. So he didn't want to be around a loser, but whatever. Leading up to that fight, I mean, it was one of the biggest upsets of all time. I remember it. I couldn't even believe it. I saw on teletext, I go, there's got to be some mistake. There's got to be some mistake. You know, no one expected it. I mean, Douglas was big. You know, when you see them together in the ring, you're like, wow, man, Douglas, big man. Next to Matt Tyson. Matt Tyson had spent the evening before rumping up two birds, you know, all night. And, you know, Douglas was really up for it for the only time. So Douglas won a huge upset, right? You know, but like I said, Donald Trump and Iron Mike, they stayed good pals, you know. He actually hired Donald Trump to be his advisor with his legal issues, you know, and his career moves. And Trump helped Tyson with the managerial dispute with Bill Caton, and he paid like Matt. Apparently, paid Matt Tyson his largest, you know, paydays to date. You know, even when like Tyson was convicted of rape, Donald Trump didn't abandon him, man. You know what I'm saying? He was in his main, probably the only big name supporter. And he demanded that Matt Tyson be allowed to train in the prison. And he wanted to appeal the conviction. Because we all know this is one dodgy conviction, man. You know, that's for another video. But, you know, everybody knows that this woman going to Matt Tyson, right? After he's chirped her up at some beauty pageant, yeah? Yeah? Some woman go to Matt Tyson's hotel at 3 a.m. And what do you expect they're going to do? Play chess? Come on, man. Matt Tyson wanted a bunk up. Yeah, and he got it too. But there was a very weird trial. He even had an experienced lawyer he wasn't a criminal lawyer. I think he was a tax lawyer. It's ridiculous. They definitely wanted to stitch him up, the Illuminati, because they couldn't control Tyson. So they said, yeah, we're going to stitch you up. It happens all the time. Yeah? Yeah? Now Tyson obviously is all brought up, you know. He's always flashing signs and stuff like that. You know, one-eye symbolism. This kind of stuff. So he gave it and he's bought now. But yeah, like I said, at one time Trump was very, very powerful in boxing. Yeah? You know? I was seeing on the internet, someone was saying they written in a boxing magazine. This is a major journalist, I don't know his name. And he said he was looking back on his old articles 30 years ago, and it said out of the 10 most powerful people in boxing, number one spot was Donald Trump, man, which is nuts. I mean, he didn't last that long in boxing, but I think he had casinos, you know, and hotels and kinds of things in Atlantic City. So he'd get them big fights to Atlantic City. I've never been to Atlantic City. Apparently, it's like a whack version of Las Vegas, but you know, Las Vegas I've been to, and I don't want to go back to that Babylon, man. It's just evil, man. Forget about it. Yeah, so you know, Trump's impact in boxing has been recognized. You know, he's even inducted in a couple of Hall of Fames, I think. You know, after he come out of prison, Mike Tyson, Trump was like, you know, shouting out for him, going, yeah, he must be. The people saying, oh, he shouldn't be allowed to box now. He shouldn't be allowed to box. They shouldn't allow rapists to box. I mean, you know, he served his time, man, for a very dodgy conviction, right? And Trump, you know, fought for him. He said he's got to be allowed to box. You know, he even said, some of Tyson's purses should be given to, you know, victim groups, but you know, I don't think it didn't really happen. Eventually, there's too much money in Mike Tyson anyway. He was always going to get back into boxing, yeah? He was always going to get back to boxing. I think what am I saying? Tyson and Trump are still quite good pals, I think. I think Tyson supports Trump. And when he was president the first time, yeah? Yeah, you know Jack Johnson, the black heavyweight, the first black heavyweight champion. Yeah, you know he was a character. He was a strong, mentally strong guy. I mean, like The back in the day, what he used to do, where I'm wearing flashy. I mean, I don't know, prove it, right? But big fur coats and stuff, and flashing money about, and he had a posse of white women's, and back in the day, that weren't done. And he got nicked on the Mann Act for transporting women across state lines for illegal purposes. And people rewrite stories, right? So the modern thing is, the racist establishment attacked Jack Johnson because they didn't want him to be with no white women's, and they made up some act. They made up some charge and charged him with it. That's not actually true. Oh yeah, they said, it was his girlfriend. He had a number of women's, and it might have been his fiancée, but she was a hooker. People don't understand. Jack Johnson was a PIMP, okay? All right? People don't talk about that. People love to gloss over things and the official story is the only thing that people want to listen to. They don't want to listen to that Muhammad Ali was a nonce, and smashed a 12-year-old girl repeatedly, impregnated 16-year-old girls and things, a number of teenagers. So, people don't want to look at that. They want things simple. This guy's good, this guy's bad, when everything's a lot more black and white than that. The problem is that Jack Johnson also was a Mason. People don't realize that. He's a Masonic. So there you go. As was Jack Dempsey, Joe Frazier, right? And in the UK, Gary Mason was admitted. And well, look at his name, but really, I mean, there's articles on it, and the British Boxing Board of Control, all the people that run boxing are in that thing. Eddie Hearns, obviously, you see him flashing the signal all the time, hiding the hand and doing this, that, and the other. Anyway, this is about Trump. So Trump gave a pardon to Jack Johnson. Posthumous, obviously, it doesn't do Jack Johnson no good because he's been brown bread for years. But Trump's obviously, he loves his boxing, and he pardoned, what's his face, Jack Johnson. Will Donald Trump make boxing great again? I mean, the MAGA thing's a bit of a joke, in it. But he's not really involved in boxing anymore, obviously. He's US president anyway. But obviously, he'll probably turn up some big matches, this kind of thing. As a president, I think he got more important things than try and make boxing a level playing ground, which has never happened. There've been a few acts like the Muhammad Ali Act and stuff like that, but you can never clean up the crack horror of sport and boxing. But not much will happen with regards to boxing. But it's just a very interesting part of Donald Trump's life that he had such a big impact on boxing. He had such a big impact on boxing. And he was like a big friend of, as I said, Iron Mike Tyson. He put on some big fights, And Trump then was younger, man. He looked more bad boy. He's 74 now, so he's a bit older now. But back in the day, he was a bit of a styler, and a very 80s look, but a bit of a styler. But anyway, yeah. So big up to Donald Trump. Make those. And by the way, I don't support him. I've said that before. He's just another puppet. But, I just enjoy him, making the libtards cry salty tears. Big up and peace in the Middle East.